All right, and we are live. So today I'm going to bring you something for standard. So this is mono white. The deck has gone through a few different iterations over the last couple sets. Most recently with the change in Faceless Haven being banned from standard, you can take advantage of some of your other creature land options. So this build is playing 3 copies of Cave of the Frost Dragon, as well as 4 copies of Crawling Barrens. Thanks to Neo, we also have the addition of Aganjo's Sea of the Empire, which is a legendary land that can come in untapped, add tap for a white mana, and then Channel, which is effectively uncounterable, use it as a spell of 2 and a white, discard it, deal 4 damage to an attacking or blocking creature, cost 1 less for each legendary creature you have. So thanks to your Thalia, thanks to your Redain, this often looks a lot closer to Gideon's Reproach or whatever the new version of the Wanderer's equivalent of that effect, which in of itself is a fine card in limited, but being able to have it as a free slot as a backup land in your aggressive deck is very helpful. And since your curve tops out at 4, you are less likely to need your 5th, your 6th land, so you're okay with holding these extra copies. In fact, there's actually an additional copy in the sideboard. So let's take a look at the creature suite real quick. You have 6 1-drops, being Usher of the Fallen and Hopeful Initiate. Both of these pretty easily are at 2 power when they get to attack, because your Hopeful Initiate has training, and then your Usher is just a 2-1. Usher has an activated ability to put an additional token into play, which can add up over time, especially if your opponent is a little slow to get out of the gate. And thanks to your Intrepid Adversary, you have an Anthem effect to make that 1-1 into a 2-2 or a 3-3, which really can make that body worthwhile. There's also Luminarch Aspirant. This is the original version, I believe. Oh, no, this is the wrong version of this. I need to switch this one out. That's a good call. So, Luminarch Aspirant, the unnerfed version of the card, is a 2-mana 1-1 that at the start of combat, you put a 1-1 counter on a creature you control. Then the nerfed version, which is only affecting alchemy, puts the counter on an end step, which is obviously worse because you don't get the ability immediately for that attack on that turn. So let me quickly change that. I need the original one. So I want... one moment. Oh, this preset's alchemy, that's why. Okay, we're gonna fix that. Nice try, Wizards. Alright, so your Luminarch Aspirant puts the counter on. Intrepid Adversary also can make your team a lot bigger. Thalia puts your opponent on the back foot with their heavy spells-based decks. And also just being a 2-1 first striker is a nice aggressive body. In your 3-drop slot, it's a little bit more on the crowded side. You have Archon of Emeria, which is great against the Jeskai control builds, particularly the ones that are playing maybe 1 or 2 basics total in the entire deck. They often have a lot of these spell lands. Forcing everything your opponent has to come in tapped is really big game. It's also very strong against the Runes deck, which we played last week on stream. So the Runes deck focuses around cards that make your R's cost less, if not free outright. So that deck works by chaining off a bunch of these cantripping auras, getting triggers off of your other spells to make your creature just massive. Archon slows that plan down to a crawl. Redain is also very strong in that it makes a lot of your opponent's lands come in tapped. It also makes your opponent's non-creature spells with mana value 4 or greater cost 2 more. The Jeskai deck, which focuses around Hinata, wants to play Magma Opus, ideally for 2 mana. So this makes that a little bit slower. It means that they can't necessarily do it all in one turn. And those small little interactions that push your opponent on a slightly slower clock let you get in for the final bit. Redain also has a backside Valkmira Protector's Shield. If a source your opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent one of that damage. Whenever an opponent targets a thing that you have, they have to pay 1 or it's countered. So this other side is also very, very strong against the Magma Opus combo. It not only makes them pay wholesale for their Magma Opus, because every time it's reduced, it actually increases as well. If they are spreading out damage, that damage doesn't actually do the damage. Okay, other than that, you have Skyclave Apparition, which is just a very strong remove your opponent's thing while keeping a 2/2 body on board. You have Legion Angel, which is a 4/3 that keeps finding additional copies out of the sideboard. In this case, you have 3 other copies. And then the Wandering Emperor, the new planeswalker from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Not only is this a strong like late game sort of threat, it's a combat trick. So unlike every other planeswalker we've seen, this one has flash and can activate on your opponent's turn the turn it comes in. So +1, put a 1/1 counter on a creature, it gets first strike. With all of your creatures having like typically 2 power, maybe 3 power, this can surprise win a combat. You can also make a 2/2 samurai with vigilance to protect it, or act as a threat and then make that samurai bigger and bigger with your +1 ability. There's also the -2 exile a tap creature, gain 2 life. This is great against your opponent playing, say, like Goldspan Dragon, something that's just quick and aggressive. This is on curve, kill the Goldspan. It's a surprise blowout that gives you something to play with after the removal spell aspect, and putting your opponent really far behind. It can also, like just leaving up 4 mana at instant speed makes your opponent hesitant to attack unless they have an answer. Also notably, because it's exile, it gets around Valorous Stance, which is one of the premier answers for those dragon decks. So this is destroy a creature with toughness 4 or greater, or give a thing indestructible. The Dragons decks are not only playing in their deck to deal with other Dragon decks, but to protect theirs. Having an exile-based removal spell makes that not relevant. Okay, and the sideboard. Understandably, my camera is blocking the sideboard a little bit, so I'm going to name everything and then tell you about it. Valorous Stance, we spoke about. Redain, it's your 4th copy. Your 3 Legion Angels, which the first one can go find. Your 4th copy of Aganjo. The second half here, we have 4 copies of Brutal Cathar, which is another Fiend Hunter effect, right? So it's a, let me see if I can bring that. Yeah, there we go. It's a 2/2 for 3 mana. When it comes into play or transforms into this side, exile a creature until this permanent goes away. Then Daybound. So if your opponent, this is the mechanic from the recent Innistrad sets. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. If your opponent, or rather, if the active player played no spells during the turn, it becomes night. If it's night and someone plays, or rather, active player plays 2 spells during that turn, it flips back to day. So, in other words, the Brutal Cathar steals a thing, flips into a 3/3 with Ward 3 and First Strike, which is a very aggressive body, and then can flip back and then maybe have a second creature that it can eat. There's also Garden of Faith, which is Flash Vigilance for a 3/2 for 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you can phase out any number of other target creatures. This is great if your opponent's casting removal spells. It's great if your opponent's wrathing you. It's basically a flash threat that can either put in a somewhat aggressive body on the board with 3 power and vigilance, or also be a protective spell, falling in the same kind of design space as Valorous Stance, where it can protect your stuff or be aggressive. Okay, so that is the deck. I'm going to run it through a couple matches on ladder and see how we do. From my understanding, Team Sunny Days has been playing this pretty regularly in like competitive events on Magic Online and has top-8'd virtually every challenge with it. So at least one person, sometimes 2 or 3 members of that team, have just blown out the competition. So I'm excited to see how this does. And before I get started, I should say that this stream is going to be brought to you by QuietSpeculation.com. Quiet Speculation is a Magic the Gathering finance website. They host a number of articles based off competitive metagame, deck guides, and how to make the most out of your collection. If you are interested in checking them out, I highly recommend it. It's a great group, QuietSpeculation.com. Alright, so we're going to get started. We are on the play. That is amazing. We have one land, and that's not amazing. If we have a second one, I feel comfortable with this hand, but I think we can probably do better. Okay. And I think this is better. I'm going to keep. I'm going to throw back one apparition. Unless we draw a 2-drop, and this doesn't die, presumably I'm going to be attacking with the Usher and then activating the Usher. My opponent... Ooh, okay. My opponent is on the... what am I blanking on the name? The Runes deck. You can tell because Commune with Spirits is the only card that deck really plays. Or rather, that is the only deck that really plays that card. So I'm just going to lead on the Aspirant here. I'm going to buff up my Usher and swing in. I feel really good about my position here because I have my Skyclave Apparition. I can get rid of their Jukai Naturalist while still advancing my board. And I'm going to put the counter on my Aspirant. Just kind of spread out the impact of my cards here. I would love to draw a land. Okay, that's a very good sign for us. They don't have a creature to put up the rune on, so they're just cantripping with it. And we have the Wandering Emperor. So I think I do just want to play the Emperor here. Give all my creatures +1/+1 first strike. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll hit them for 9. They'll go down to 3. And I can use this ability at instant speed, so it doesn't really matter all that much. I'll put it on the Aspirant. Notably, I'm not putting on the Apparition because I think that is probably the highest value target for them to want to remove if they have one of their... I think they play 2 to 4 kill spells in their main deck. Because this would give them back a blocker. So I want to build up these as big as possible. Alright. They are dead. Cool. Alright, knowing what they're on, I really like bringing in the Brutal Cathars. Being able to take the creature that they've built up and just remove it outright feels great. I also feel similarly about this Valorous stance. Don't think Redain is doing me any favors here. Hopeful Initiate's also interesting because this is a naturalize effect. Provided that I can remove 2 counters, which shouldn't be too difficult. I love the Archons, I love the Cathars, I love the Apparitions. So I need to trim from somewhere. I think I can probably cut down the Emperor because I'm bringing up my 3-drop slot a little bit. That might be wrong. I love Thalia here. I'll probably cut an Adversary. Okay, this hand's a little bit on the slower side, but I have my Archon, I have my Cathar, and I have my Wandering Emperor. So we're gonna buckle up for a pretty long game here. But I have the mana, I have the cards. I feel pretty safe. Notably, my opponent doesn't have white mana available yet. And it looks like they missed a land drop. I'm gonna play the Cathar. If they have removal, they have removal. I'm expecting them to. Or they have the protective give a thing hexproof and indestructible, gain 2 life card. Alright, so they found their white. Let's see what they want to do with it. Alright. Circle of Confinement. So I'm going to pass here. I'm going to try and cheese out the Kami with my Wandering Emperor in combat. And then I can Skyclave Apparition the Circle of Confinement and get back my Brutal Cathar on their next creature. And you get a Runeforge champ. Yep. So I never want to count out the Runes deck, just because they have Showdown of the Skalds, which can just pull them out of any situation. I'm going to exile the Kami. This one can recur, so I want that to be the one that goes away. So another consideration, because I don't love Runeforge being able to get its ETB effect if they have another removal spell for the Brutal Cathar. So I might... this feels bad. I'm just going to go for the Skyclave on the Runeforge champ. If I were them, I would activate the Lair of the Hydra. Or just have another Runeforge. Yeah, that's fine. Here's hoping they don't have another one. Or one that buffs stats. Because I would rather keep my Wandering Emperor. Okay, that doesn't buff stats. Alright, they are not about it. That's pretty good for me. I'm gonna turtle up a little bit with this 4/4. I have my Aganjo. It's not a given that it's gonna work. So and I'm buffing up the Skyclave Apparition because the Archon is critical. That removing this is critical for them to be able to do what they want to do. Neither creature do I really want to have removed, but if something were to go, I want to minimize the impact to me. Okay. So they played the Naturalist. going to put a counter on the Archon.
Remember your training.
This lets me activate my one of my creature lands and then hold up the Iganjo. This costs 5, correct? Alright, so I can't activate the Cave. I can activate a Crawling Barrens. Arlen? Can't say I was expecting that out of the deck. Maybe I should have? Alright, so it's no longer a Planeswalker while doing that. I think I'm okay with this line. Lets me save the Wandering Emperor.
I'm not impressed.
Probably should have put it on the Skyclave. Yeah, that was a misplay. Okay. Alright, we're going to be losing this Wandering Emperor.
Try not to miss me.
Okay, my opponent gets to search for a rune. Makes sense. Well, that's a good one. Excuse me. Auto pay. Auto pay. Alright. I think playing it safe this turn is probably my best bet, in all honesty. Doesn't look like they have another Valor stance. That's an interesting one. What happens if I attack all? They activate their layer of the Hydra. I think I can attack with these two. I can offer the trade. And then I play a backup Archon of Emeria. Alright, so they found their portable hole. So my adversary is gone, my creatures shrink down a little bit, but I still have the biggest body on the board. Ooh. So I can pump twice. What does that do for me? Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could put them to 3. I think I like just attacking for 5. Playing my Legion Angel. And then passing back. Alright. Touch the Spirit Realm is just another Banishing Light variant. Can't hit enchantments, but it can also blink. Speaking of, they did just blink it. So they're going to try to chain off some runes here. They were unsuccessful. Good game. So, notably, if you have a Runeforged champion and a Jukai Naturalist in play, this makes all of your auras, or rather your rune auras, cost a single colorless mana, or not colorless mana, a single generic mana. And this reduces it additionally by 1. So it makes all of these functionally free when you have both in play. So the only thing stopping my opponent from just playing a bunch of spells, 1 was not drawing enough runes, but 2, the Archons. So being able to stop them from doing that combo means they couldn't really get off the ground, they couldn't do their card advantage engine. And so that gambit that they just did was trying to get as much value as possible when both Archons were gone. I don't know if it would be correct to channel that second one and not just play it out. Oh no, I guess they couldn't play it outright because the second Archon, obviously. Okay, makes sense why they did what they did. I just think that Archon is a beating against them and they couldn't get off the ground. Either way, on to our second match. We are on the play again. Phenomenal. Okay, this is interesting. We have double Aganjo. So we're going to need to draw another land or basically Stone Rain ourselves to play a 3-drop. But we do have a pretty decent curve here. So I think that's probably fine. I'll lead on the first one. Duress whiffs. That's pretty good for us. Snow-covered swamp tells me that they're probably playing the blood on the snow like sacrifice deck, which might be a problem if they have the 1/1 that can either die into a treasure or die into a -1/-1. Alright. Boink. Archon. That's the one I was talking about. And I really don't want to Skyclave that, if I can avoid it. Like, if they have, what is it, Deadly Dispute, I'm just in a lot of trouble. So, I'm going to play my Angel, and play just a bunch of Angels from here on out. Yeah. Okay, so they do have the Deadly Dispute. Let's see if they go for the treasure or if they go for the... Okay. If this is a Blood on the Snow, I'm in trouble. Okay, they have a tap land, which is great. Merchant. Ooh, Cave is another pickup that I'm a big fan of here. Alright, so, Skyclave. Attempt to eat this. Whack it for 6. Force the Wrath here. And even if they have it, they're still in trouble. Oh, Meat Hook. Alright. That's not great for me. Would have preferred to be the other one. Hey, Viridian. Yeah, it's a, it's a pretty solid name. I read it initially as number, but no, it's just no. Probably makes sense to just play the Angel. Let's see what my opponent wants to do here. Lolth. Lolth is not ideal for me, but fortunately I have my Intrepid Adversary. I can also go for the Cave to make sure I kill the... Oh, I guess I wouldn't make sure I kill it because they would just get the block and block. Huh, how do I want to do this? I think I'm fine like this. Autopay, autopay? Now the real question is a Hopeful Initiate with +2/+2, so a 3/4 better than me having this land that's a removal spell? Probably. They draw a card. Hopefully they don't have a kill spell here. If they have a Wrath, they go up to... Yep. Oh, that's brutal for me.
My power is for annihilation.
Yeah. Is this the last one? No, I have one more. Alright. It might have been correct to go for the cave.
I always reward the loyal.
Alright. Oh. I'm going to put it on my aspirant here, just so they can't sacrifice the shambling gas and then kill off the aspirant. My opponent's deck's really cool. And that's going to be lights out for me. Okay. I like bringing Guardian of Faith. Don't think I need Valorous Stance. Don't need the Angels. My opponent's playing all Snowlands. I think I like the Redain. Archon seems bad here. And I have a lot of X1s. I'm going to trim on Usher. It's unlikely that this is going to be able to connect very often. My opponent's going to have upwards of 8 1-drops. Okay. Okay. This does not put on a ton of pressure. And these don't actually train themselves. I'm going to send this back. I like this a lot better. I can put back Redain. I'm going to lead on Thalia. I know Luminarch would build up a little bit better, but this seems safest for me. This is actually kind of interesting. I can go for the Luminarch and then into Redain, but I think Redain first might be better. Cool. Alright. So 1, 2... Alright, so if my opponent has an untapped land next turn, they can do X equals 1. I'm going to put 1 counter on an aspirant to save it. This does give me 1 fewer damage going through. Cool. Hey Rosie, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Alright, let's Anthem the team. Doing pretty well. We're gonna hopefully make my opponent a little sad here. Fingers crossed. One and 1. This should be lethal unless they have a removal spell. Which it seems like they do. Guess they don't. If they did, they would be pointing it at the adversary either way. Because that saves them the most life, and then they would untap into a Wrath effect, presumably. I think we can resubmit exactly like this. That game went exactly as we wanted it to go. Put them on the back foot on their mana, and just pressure. This hand's a little bit on the slower end. Do I want to keep it, though? I do have this Redain, which is phenomenal in the matchup, but I do have 4 copies. There's also Legion Angel. I'm going to send this back. Okay, this is a little bit better. I'll put back the Wandering Emperor. I don't have the mana for it just yet. I don't think I need it. Alright, Hopeful Initiate. Alright, so they're going to sacrifice the Shambling Ghast and kill the Aspirant. I kind of expected that... Oh, March. Okay, that's actually better? Do I want to attack here? Sure. Give them the option to trade if they really want to. But I imagine they want to save it for... Well, if they want to save it for a treasure, probably save it for a sacrifice effect. Excuse me. Alright, here I'm going to attack in again, see what they want to do. Alright, here's my Redain. Your lands come in tapped and your Wrath effects cost more. Your Planeswalkers cost more. Excuse me. Athalia would be pretty good here. Wandering Emperor. Not necessarily what I wanted, but not the worst. Alright, put this on Redain. Attack in for 5. And I'll play another Initiate. Excuse me. So playing the Initiate over the Usher here might be wrong. But Usher is more likely to be able to die into a Meathook Massacre, and this is also going to get the training counter anyway. I can actually use the ability here to blow up the treasures to set them back a turn. I will not attack with the Aspirant because they have the Hive. Aggro Mauling. Okay. They should have done that before attacks. But I'm fine with it. If I had to guess, they're going to untap and then Meathook Massacre here. I can use the Wandering Emperor to save one of my Initiates.
Now you've done it. That's coming off.
X equals 4. Yeah. Alright. So they're going to go up to 11. I'm going to have a 4-5. Ooh.
To me.
I'm going to hold back the Wanderer here if they have another meat hook. Okay.
Come closer, little thing. The time is, aren't I generous?
Show them how we greet our enemies.
I will get what I want.
So let's see. My opponent has 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Meat hook for 3 would cost 5, 6, 7 mana. Alright, so I'm going to play the Redain. If they have meat hook, they have meat hook. And I can play out the Usher.
Run! But we will catch you.
I don't think that does it. Really don't think that does it now. Pump the team. So I have 4 attackers. You know, I don't even activate the Wanderer here. Because I don't want to give first strike to anything. So had I done that, they would be able to chump block, gain the life off the meat hook, and then not die from this. But this way, I just have 4 lethal attackers to 3 blockers. We did it. All right, 2-0. Rank up a little bit. I will tell you what, like, ever since Paper Magic came back, I have not been able to put the amount of time into Arena to consistently, like, reach Mythic again. And every time the season ends, one comes out of nowhere because they stop telling you when the season ends on the profile. And, like, I don't have the time to do the grind. Like, I was hitting Mythic consistently up until, like, late summer when I started going to my shop, like, 2-3 days a week. I kind of wish the model followed something a little bit closer to Magic Online, where, like, you can play as much or as little and it doesn't necessarily affect the quality of opponents that you have, not necessarily pointing to this person in particular, but just, like, I would rather have it be an average person in the aggregate as opposed to a person at, like, a either lower play level or lower play investment level. I think that gives you a less consistent experience. Anywho, back to the game. So this hand has 2 lands, a 1-drop that's a little dinky, and then 3 3-drops and a 4-drop. I think I can do better. Yeah, this is better. So here I have 2 lands, and that includes a 1-drop and a 2-drop. 2 very disruptive 3-drops, depending on the opponent that we're playing against. This is looking like another Black Sacrifice deck. Sure. Here's an Usher. Oh, what is this? Is this ninjas? And this is a menace creature with lifelink. Okay, that makes sense. I will offer the trade. Alright, so Archon's probably my best bet here. Fighting Palm Ninja, this is the one that makes me discard a card. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, just saw your messages. Yeah, just stop bothering to get Mythic after a while. I can barely keep up with the releases. Like, I'm very excited about keeping up with the releases. Honestly, here, I think I might just... Ugh. I think I have to pass back. I love new cards coming out, and it's exciting. I love spoiler season. I wish every day could be spoiler season. But keeping up with the competitive aspect, especially with no major overarching like Pro Tour sort of thing, it's less interesting for me. This feels real bad. My opponent's also not really casting spells. Do I want Redain or do I want the other side? This stops me from taking damage? Yeah. I think I'm actually pretty okay with that. Wow! Alright. I got by a Spell Pierce. I don't think I'm winning this game. Yep, I am absolutely not winning this game. I think if we had a stronger GP SCG Open sort of structure back, now that even though the pandemic is not over or anything close to it, people have been moving in that direction, whether appropriate or not. It seems... Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I would like to see a more established, organized play structure. So, Redain doesn't really do anything. It's just a flying vigilance creature. Usher also seems sort of out of place here. Nope. Also not great, but we'll do it. I imagine my opponent's not keeping Spell Pierce in. And actually, on the note of spoiler season, while we... I'm just going to put the counter on here first. See what they want to do. Alright. While we've, had a lot of releases pretty close together recently, sure, you can have Soaring Thought Thief. We're going to go through, a 5-month period after Streets of New Capenna before we get another standard legal set. Which is just wild to me.
Powerful won't help. Our eyes are everywhere.
So I can play this Ameria. Put the counter on it? No, that can't be right. Biting Palm Ninja, they get to take one of my Skyclave apparitions.
Now this
Alright,
secret.
bet. So I can hit them for 9? I can Skyclave their Soaring Thought Thief. Kill the Kaito, hit them for 6. Yeah, I think I like that. I'll put it on this one.
Big deal. I'll try again later.
I think the difference between them being on 2 life and 4 life might be negligible here. Maybe that's wrong. Alright, they're dead. They could have the bounce spell. Or Ray of Enfeeblement. -4, -4. Why don't you just kill... I guess you can't. Alright, fair enough. The nice thing about this build is that they're going to struggle a little bit to, like, have a Satoru or Umezawa actually be able to, like, connect through. It really needs the evasive threats. I shouldn't even say threats. The evasive enablers, the 1 mana, like, menace creatures, the 1 mana flyers, to be able to connect in. Now the other question is, how much do I care about, like, Valorous Stance? If their removal spell here is Ray of Enfeeblement, that's -4, -4. They're not going to be able to, like, their Valorous Stance, or my Valorous Stance won't matter. Excuse me. Unless they have the Ninja Rat Lord. So I think I can go off, or go without it. I cannot say words today. They're just jumbling up. Now this is interesting. Alright, so my opponent's on the play. The lead on Thousand Face Shadow. I don't have a good answer to this for quite some time. About a turn late. Alright. Aspirant, do you want to bounce this? You do. Alright, so my opponent plays Kaito. I think I like playing this Archon. Excuse me. My thing is a pretty decent blocker unless you have a kill spell or remove spell. Alright.
Now this is a juicy sweet.
Skyclave Apparition. Eat the Kaito.
I'm used.
Play this dinky little thing. Crippling Fear, naming Ninja, that's fine. Here's a 4-3. Okay. That is a meaningful amount of pressure. Not gonna lie. Alright, I would like them to stop having things now. Excuse me. Here's a lifelink creature, decline. Here's a lifelink creature, decline. They drew very well there. Alright, so we lost in 3. We're 2-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. I can't even be mad at that. Alright. 2-1. Going in for game, or I guess round 4. Also looks like it stopped raining here, so that's pretty nice. I took my dog out this morning, and he was soaked. Like, he took all of the water with him, and basically sat in the front of my apartment for a solid like 5 to 10 minutes, just like squeegeeing him. He's a Shiba Inu, so double coated. Like he retained so much water. When my partner got home from work today, he's like, "Hey, is everything okay with Max? Like he's really well." I'm like, I tried my best. This hand's great. So I have my Thalia, I have the Archon. Presumably I can hit a 4th land in Intrepid Adversary. I also have Redain in the event that the Archon's not the best payoff. Essentially, whatever this is not great against, this usually is. So we will see what my opponent's playing. Looks like a red-black sacrifice deck. I think I'm okay with Thalia here. No blocks. Darn Epicure. Oh, and we have a backup Thalia now. Cool. I'm probably gonna slam this Archon after combat. Excuse me. Ah, yes, the combo. So I'm going to play the Intrepid Adversary here. I'm going to tick it up. If my opponent has the sacrifice thing, they have to do it a turn ago. Oh, they did. So why not kill the Adversary or the Thalia when that's on the stack? Alright. Maybe this means there's a meat hook in my future? Your husky loves the rain, so I'm always stuck with a wet dog on a rainy weekend. Yeah. That boy moist. Now it's frozen here, so super psyched. Oni Colt Anvil. Alright, I don't actually care too much about this card right now. I will care when they hit a Meat Hook Massacre. This is damage, right? Yeah, it is. Alright, so I can actually... I mean, I can't do it this turn, because Thalia makes it cost more. Might just make more sense for me to... Well, I'm definitely hanging this back because I don't want them to double block. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so my thought process was I can like play the backside and then I don't take damage off the Unequal Anvil, but that's probably not going to be relevant text. Getting this down and stopping a Meat Hook for 4 seems pretty good. Extus. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, return a copy. Alright. Part of me wants to flash in the Wandering Emperor in combat. I don't know if it's... Or do I want to hold up the Ganjo's Castle? If I'm hitting them for 6, hitting them for 7 is not going to do a ton. I could hit them for 9. Excuse me. Valky, God of Lies, you take my Thalia? Yeah, that's fine. If you go to activate it, I will just cast my Wanderer. Alright, they're off it. So the game plan at this point would be Flash and Wander, end of turn, buff up Archon, and then tick up on Redain. So that gives me 2 lethal attackers. I can activate the cave here if necessary. Alternatively, I can like hold up the second Wandering Emperor. So if they go and do anything here, I can buff up the other one. Presumably they're going to activate the Oni Colt to move out of range. Okay, anyway, moving on. Don't actually know what I want here. Exodus is probably something I'm going to want to kill. but I don't think it's worth all that. What's the backside of this? It becomes a 3/6. Yeah, I think that might actually be worthwhile. There is also Brutal Cathar, but I imagine it's not going to be long for this world to be able to do that. Again, I think Usher can come out. I think I like this. Need to refill my coffee. One drop and a 2-drop, but they're not particularly my best 1/2 drops. Actually, this is my best 1-drop, but not my best 2-drop. And if they have the 1/1 that dies into a -1/-1, this is really bad. I think I'm gonna send this back. Okay. This hand's arguably a little bit worse. Harvester, sure. I'm gonna run this out. I'm gonna force them to use the Harvester as a removal spell. Or just have a different removal spell. No blocks. That's unfortunate for them. Okay. I don't really want to play my Skyclave Apparition on this board, but I also don't really want to play the Redain. Redain will die immediately to the Harvester. I kind of want to play it as the Valkmira. I'm going to eat the Shambling Ghast. Is this sorcery speed only? It is. Okay. I'm going to offer the trade. Not interested in the trade. I'll get some life back. It's really good for them. I desperately need, like, action spells. I have 6 lands and I have no interest in doing anything with them. So here's the thing. They can trade their Harvester for a Shambling Ghast token, but I don't think it's worth it. I'll take the 3. I don't care. Ooh, okay, that's actually really good for me. Alright, so this is all my permanents also take less. When you or another permanent you control becomes the target of spell ability. If a source of opponent control will deal 1 damage to your permanent you control. Okay, cool. So this lets me attack in with the adversary. I'll deal 3, gain the 3. Their thing will just die. Oh! Well, that's adorable. Was not expecting that one. Sure. Well, now I can play the other one and not feel bad about it. So they traded 1, 2, and then some treasures. For that. Oh, stop it. They could have activated their hive there and blocked, I think, right? Not crazy? Alright, no reason to attack with the Epicure. That's really bad for me. If they have a land. They don't have a land and they cast it. That's very, very good. Oh wait, this is another thing? Ah! Stop it! Whenever you were another permanent. It's brutal. Stop it. No attacks. Oh, good God. I was like, kind itself too, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's fine. Excuse me. You spend 4 mana for a 1/1? That's a little questionable, I'm not gonna lie. Good God. 6, 7, 8. 8 lands. And no, 8 lands and none of them are... I guess one is a Crawling Baron. So 1 of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only one of them is actually like one of the good ones. Brutal. Now, do I want to Skyclave here? Skyclave, eat the Harvester. Take a bunch? No. Oh, okay. Sacrificing the treasure. Presumably they have a kill spell here. Yep. Alright, I'm just dead. Skyclave can't kill either of these. And they have the creature land. The question is, do I want Brutal Cathar or do I want Guardians of Faith? I think Guardians of Faith might be worthwhile here. The only thing it needs to do to earn its keep is come in against a Sorcerer Speed removal spell, which they have a fair amount. Ordain is fine. Alright. Alright, at least this one I'm on the play, so hopefully that helps a little bit, and hopefully my spells line up well. Alright, this is probably fine. aspirant into a Maria adversary maybe later. Perfect timing. Feed the swarm. Sure. Play an Archon. Hopefully this sets the back a little bit. Or they just have infinite removal. At least I didn't get pointed at the Wandering Emperor. So that's pretty okay in my book. I'm going to flash this in, and then most likely make a Samurai. Exodus is a great thing for me to Skyclave at the earliest opportunity.
I hope you're ready to lead. May your blades strike true. Strike fast and strike hard.
I would very much like my opponent to not be able to stabilize here. Shambling Ghast. That's not stabilizing. One counter, first strike.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Deadly Disputes, hit my Thalia. Trade off the token. I think I like making a Samurai here.
Guards, to me.
And then animating here. They can remove something. I'm pretty fine with that. Okay. Don't currently have a thing. And this presents lethal next turn unless they have an answer. They do have 5 cards and a bunch of mana. Red Oblivion. Sure. Valky.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Alright. How do I want to do this? I think I do want to play the Archon again. Oh, they have another one. Okay. This is a little bit of an awkward spot here. They sacrifice the token, they kill one of my creatures, or they kill the Wandering Emperor. I would love a land here. Or a Wandering Emperor. Okay. Yep. One counter here.
You'll be safe.
Kill the Valky.
The edge in this fight.
My opponent has no other artifacts. They have only the Anvil to sacrifice. They have a Vanishing Burst, though.
See you later.
No other white source. And they found their artifact. Alright. Now this is an interesting one. I can sacrifice the Harvester. Or not the... I'm saying the wrong words. I can Apparition the Harvester. Attack in, force the block. Otherwise they go to 1. So on their next turn, presumably, they use the Rite of Oblivion. Sacrifice the 1/1. Okay, they drew an Epicure. So now they sacrifice the token. Get a 1/1. They get 2/2. And I finally drew that land. We did it! That was a slog. Alright, so that was round 4. One more to go. Sorry for the loud noise. Hopefully it didn't come up on anything. Alright, so we are 3-1 going into our last round. Let's make it work. Alright, we are playing against Nubs. Don't know this person, but I appreciate their username. Alright, let's give it a go. This hand looks great. So turn 2 Aspirant into presumably turn 3 Aspirant. Depending on what my opponent's doing, it might be the turn 3 Emeria instead. Wandering Emperor if I hit a land, which I will presumably do by turn 4. They're on a mulligan, Swarm Shambler. So this looks like it's the, I was going to say mono green deck, but Werewolves maybe? Not quite sure. So we hit that land. I'm going to play this Aspirant. My assumption is my opponent's probably going to fight this or shock it. But the only way out is through. Storm, whatever. Stormseeker. The haste thing with 2/3. No, Invigorating Hot Springs. This is interesting. Alright, I am not familiar with my opponent's build, but they're playing cards that work well together, and I like them. Alright, so now the question is, do I want to go for mana efficiency, or do I want to go for just making the big spotty? I'm going to lean on mana efficiency. I think Archon might hose them a little bit on their curve out. This can become a 4/4 with this, so there's no point in me putting the counter on it. I'm just going to put it on the aspirant. What does this thing do? Put counter on a thing. When it attacks, put one counter on each attacking creature. Oh, that's cool. No blocks. Alright. My opponent's cards are very cool. I would like to remove them. Hey, Donna, tell me what to do. How you doing? I'm gonna put this on the aspirant. How's the arena? We're going pretty well so far. Right now we are 3-1. This is our last match. They just played an Esca's Chariot. Alright, so we're not going to win this one. They're going to crew the Chariot, they're going to put a counter on their Chariot, and they're going to attack me for a lot. I'm just going to take it. Yeah. I'm going to be lethal on the next... Yeah, I'm going to be it's going to be lethal on the next one, either way. So having the permanent's probably my best bet here. Excuse me. I'm gonna play Adversary. Decline. Oh, I'm... Whoops. I forgot I had my own merit. Yeah, I'm just dead. I should have gone for the Aspirant into the Adversary. But I still think I'm dead on that exchange. So, let's see. I played this. I played this. Put 2 counters on here. And then Wandering Emperor to 6. I can block 1 thing. I go up to 7. Yeah, okay, so I might not have been dead that turn. Either way. I think I like Brutal Cathar. I think I like Valorous Stance. My opponent's not playing a lot of Snelllands. They're not playing a ton of, like... It's Esca's Chariot, and I don't know if they're playing Ren 7. They might be. I don't think I need additional copies of Redain, though. Usher's kind of medium. Honestly, so are most of these cards. Yeah, I can trim on that. Usher is typically at its best when it's on an empty board and it's able to snowball a little bit. My opponent having a bunch of 1-drops and 2-drops, it's not going to be able to do that. Though, I am on the play. I can trim a Wandering Emperor. I can trim on Redain. Actually, I can trim on Archon. No. This is hard. Dahlia seems fine. Apparition seems fine. I'll just go down to 1 Wandering Emperor. If I'm bringing in more removal, the minus ability on there is a little less relevant. Okay, I like this a lot. Looks like my opponent's on a mulligan as well. 1. I drew another land, which is great, so I don't have to play the Aggro. I can use it as a removal spell. Do I want the Thalia or do I want the Aspirant? I think I can lead on Aspirant, start snowballing here while possible, and then Thalia next turn. Or they just have Burning Hands, in which case I might have wanted Thalia instead. So, either way, I'm going to play out 2 creatures. They have another Burning Hand, so be it. Ooh, another Brutal Cathar. Well, that's not ideal for me. I'm just gonna play this out as is. Training. Alright. They're gonna trade the cat for the Cathar, which, I mean, gotta do what I gotta do. Hopefully they don't have another Chariot, in which case I'm in big trouble. Or running 7. Alright. That could be worse. This feels so bad. Alright, so my opponent can take up the Ranger class. If they have a land, they can do it twice, and then they can start playing stuff off the top of their deck. I don't think I'm winning this match. I'll take 5. Yeah, my weekend's been pretty great, actually. I played game day yesterday. Oh, that was just a mistake. Sorry, I wasn't paying too much attention. Yeah. Alright, this is just a good game. Sorry, everybody. That was not ideal. My weekend has been great. I played game day yesterday. I actually played the guy that writes my paychecks for Quiet Speculation in the last round as the win-and in. My pool was utter garbage, and I'm glad that I was able to pilot it to a top 8. Fortunately, so we played. He got a little mana flood in our game 3. His deck was just better than mine. His pool was better than mine, and I wound up just turning a bunch of bears sideways. So I came in 5th. He came in 8th. So he still got his promos, which is great. I actually wound up playing against a friend of mine who is, between the two of us, we're the first and second strongest players at that shop, and it's not particularly close, respectfully to everyone else. So he and I match up in round 1, and again, his pool is much better than mine. Like, I had absolute. I'm thinking the PG word here, but my pool was poop. So I cheese out a win in our game 1. I am presenting lethal in game 2. He just annihilated me. Just all right, kill spell, kill spell, kill spell. Play the 4/4 reach thing that digs for an enchantment. He recast the same one 5 times in a single game, which is just insane to me. Between the like pick up an enchantment and a creature, reanimate a thing and put counters on it if you have an artifact and enchantment. Like I could not seal the deal. And then game 3, I'm presenting lethal. He has the 1 kill spell that would actually work in the situation. So he had 2 mana available. I had the Selfless Savior Samurai thing in play, and I have Befriend the Moths, or whatever the saga's called, along with the Samurai that gives you an extra combat when it attacks alone. So I'm jumping the Samurai. I can give it Indestructible, and it's going to have lifelink. I'm about to hit him for 8. He's at 7. And he has, the Lethal Vapors, the 1 a black. Target thing gets -2/-2, and an additional -1/-1 for each modified creature you control as you cast the spell. I have a kill spell in hand. I kill one of his creatures, but did not realize that it checks upon cast, not resolution. So he ends up giving my thing -3/-3, when I have a thing to give it Indestructible and a removal spell to kill the modified creature. So the game goes on for quite a bit longer, and we end up drawing. When I tell you I was screaming internally, that being said, like it was a great time. I had a blast, and then went out to Hibachi not the day after, like right afterward. All in all, my Saturday was great, and Sunday I get to play Magic at home. So, all things considered, pretty wonderful. So with that, we finished 3-2. I think that the mono white deck is a very strong contender for standard. Highly recommend it. I'm going to bring up the deck one more time. That is the wrong click. And this video has been brought to you by QuietSpeculation.com. They are a Magic the Gathering finance website, but you can also find articles on competitive metagame, our podcast Quiet Conversations, available both on their YouTube page and where podcasts are found. If you have any questions, please feel free to tweet me at Adam E. Cohen, or find this article and VOD on all the official channels. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a great day.